So I'm totally happy and excited that I have the chance to interview today Joy Taylor for the Conscious Evolution community. And Joy, maybe in the beginning you share a bit what kind of brought you together with me, because you heard about the Conscious Evolution Summit and you reached out to me, and we both had the sense that who you are and what you do really fits into this topic.
Yeah, well, because I'm a lover of consciousness, my life and what I'm about, and I knew this as a young girl, was to be of service on the planet, and that's it. And so when I was 5, I was in Sunday school, I was learning about Jesus, grew up in a Christian family, and I said, I was there. I was there. So I was having these rememberings as a young girl. Actually, at the time, my name was Jo. And as I was learning to spell and I heard about joy and I saw that Y at the end of Jo, I decided I wanted to change my name because joy felt more like the resonance of who I be. So I just started telling people I was Joy at 5. My parents were the last to find out. And they agreed. I remember being sat down. Dad's like, okay, we'll change your name, but only once. So that momentum of feeling more about service, feeling more about energy, feeling really drawn to the teachings of truth has been with me since a child. I had premonitions of people walking on the street with cell phones. I also had premonitions would go to the mall and would click pink scarf and, it would tell us which stores had it. Well, that was the internet, and that was coming to me at 7 and 8. And so consciousness is why I'm here. Being of service is what I feel many of us are being called to do. So when I saw your summit, the name of it, the feel of it, in addition, I've been to Germany and Europe many times, and it's kind of a second home for me. I love that international feel of what you're doing too. I just said yes, so I enjoyed being a participant and then wanted to reach out to you. It was right along the time when my book launched as well, so I'm coming out and being a little more visible with my wanting to, because the world needs us, show up fully to support what's possible right now. Yeah.
And what I really also love a lot, this, you call your business a soul-inspired life.
Yes.
And I really sense that our deep connection to our soul is so crucial for whatever we do. And I'm really curious, and maybe our audience as well, what did you find out? I mean, you seem to have a really very natural access to your deeper levels of consciousness of who you are. But what did you find out, or what would you kind of offer as a practice, as a tool to really come into that level of who we are?
And I studied with a Jewish rabbi actually for 5 years, who is a Kabbalist and a really metaphysical. I talk about him in my book, David. And he always said, if you have any fear or desire, any aversion, anything going on inside of you, you have got to either fulfill it or decharge it. So what's going to happen in life if we have a fear of failure, we'll have to experience that or decharge it. That's the way it works in the unconscious mind. So when we bring it to consciousness with love, with humor, maybe even letting those statements out that are forbidden and taboo, whew, transformation happens. And it's the deep work, but it's less deep when there's love. When there's humor, like you're saying. I mean, I'm curious, are you experiencing some of this yourself? Is this similar to your work?
Yes, I do. And I just noticed that for a long time, I had this sense kind of, I need to be more perfect, that I can access this deeper level, but they exist just simultaneously, and I can choose in which frequency I orient my awareness in a way. And
Yes.
when I'm more connected to the deeper level, I mean, I don't need to make an effort there there automatically comes warmth and softness and love from that level, and that can embrace my maybe not so mature, not so evolved levels yet. So yeah.
Well, I find it to be almost like simultaneous. Like
Yeah.
I bring the loving presence, and then if I'm feeling anger, which is something I've gotten more comfortable with these days, because anger and passion are really similar. And I am a passionate person. I'm passionate about helping the planet. I really am. We're gonna get to that, I know. But it also sometimes shows up as I'm not, I've got some anger. And the more I let myself like shake that out and sometimes even vocalize it, while I know there's this like cool observer, just like you go, girl, I'm not pointing it or directing it at anyone.
Mm-hmm.
And you probably
Yeah.
know, yeah, you know the work of Byron Katie. She's like,
Yeah.
judge people because you do anyway. Then you get to turn it around. Oh, it's me. It's all me. And I say, go for that process, but actually kind of enjoy it a little bit. You know, we might as well enjoy all of the emotions. I mean, in Hinduism, right? We are, and really, if you look at all the religions, which I've studied so many of them, in truth, we are drops of the ocean. We are souls connected to spirit, the great divine intelligence, experiencing separation on earth, all an illusion. But guess what? It's all that. It's all divine intelligence, including the pain, including the shame. So I'm not going to deny it in myself. I'm actually going to realize it and let it express itself in appropriate ways, which often for me is journaling, dancing, sometimes vocalizing, and sometimes having a witness, but often alone. Yeah.
I just recently was in a retreat in North India, and what I really took with me was an understanding of that on a soul level. We really chose incarnating in a human body in this duality because a huge opportunity to evolve as a soul, to evolve as awareness, is being in this contrast and yet still knowing what I truly am, while other levels of me are really experience in duality this contrast. And hearing that so clearly again and again, this really also brings certain quality with more being in peace with difficulty, because I know this is an opportunity to really evolve and grow.
Yeah. Yeah. So Earth is clearly going through an evolution. You know, we're moving from this 3D planet of duality. And so duality meaning light and dark, love, fear. It also is, I mean, there's so many ways. We have male, female, you look at nature, it's all dualistic, but dualism, when it's against each other, is the war. And it's all the wars, you know, the war on drugs, it's all the anti-war activities, right? Or war between people, couples. I mean, it's all power struggle stuff. But we have also the opportunity to play in duality and start transcending into becoming not just five sensory beings and not just focused on the duality and the 3D, but we have an opportunity, like you're talking about, to be soul inspired, to really know who we are and bring that consciousness to planet Earth. Because I believe we're changing. I believe we're becoming more, a friend of mine calls it homeoluminous. You know, instead of Homo sapiens, it's like, oh, we're getting more opportunity to bring light, to bring consciousness, to travel through meditation, through trance, through dance, through journeying, through whatever we do to raise our consciousness. We can move into that 5D, that area, that quantum field, right? We can access that where we're no one and we're not so identified with the human body, but then boom, back we are in Earth, and I'm Joy. And I'm hanging out in my office today, having an interview, right?
And would you say, Joy, for the programs you offer, because I hear also when I'm with you, that you're really about helping people showing up a lot. When we look at the 4 pillars from integral growth, it's waking up, cleaning up, growing up, showing up. And I would say you really help also showing up people with programs which help maybe cleaning up, waking up, and growing up.
Yes. That is so wonderful. Yeah, that's what I'm about. I help transformational leaders.
Yeah.
I help soul-inspired entrepreneurs, service professionals, so the light workers of the world that have done some of this other work and are ready to now help others do the other work. I help these people with their businesses, and specifically in creating an online presence that's authentic, in integrity. And so that would be the visibility aspect. And then also in creating trainings. So my background is business. I taught at a college level. I've been with economic development institutes. I am an entrepreneur myself, having been a somatic practitioner and a wellness consultant. And basically now I just take everything that I've learned and I'm helping other people teach online. And you know, of course, that's really important right now. We're physically distancing, but we don't have to socially distance. You know, in this time of discernment, which is what I think is part of the blessing or the opportunity of this pandemic, is that we are giving ourselves and each other a time to discern who we want to spend time with, what we want to do in our lives, what are our influences. So there's more protection and social, can be more social isolation, but I want to encourage people, be careful and mindful physically, but let's get online. And so especially right now, there are a lot of healers and teachers and trainers and subject matter experts who have been doing workshops in person and want to transition into the online environment, but want to also still help their clients get the results that they want. How do you create a safe container? How do you create engagement? So yeah, that's my work in the world. I mean, I really prayed a lot about what am I here to do? So yeah, I'm here to uplift people with just my presence, my book, I speak. And I want to help the people that are helping people be more effective, be more professional, and show up. Show up. Did you say show up? Show up fully, show up with confidence, show up with authenticity, show up online. And there's ways to do that. And I'm blessed that I've just spent so many years in studying entrepreneurship and being one myself. And so many years, I started producing a teleconference program over 20 years ago. It was 21 years ago. So I started on the phone and then quickly moved to video conference and live streams. So this is natural for me.
Sounds you're really very familiar with technique and with how this all developed. And maybe people, especially in this field, are not so skilled with technique. How would you help people kind of not seeing that as a too big obstacle?
Yeah, well, a couple things. I'm offering free monthly master classes now. So in them, I'm going through engagement techniques and how to utilize some of the technology that's present today to have organized chats and breakout rooms in their virtual events, or polls or timed activities or meditations that are effective. I'm helping people understand the types of programs. So the master classes are a way that people can come for free and really get some ideas and confidence. And then I created a program last year before all of this and taught it, and it's coming out regularly now, where people can go through 7 weeks and get the skills, because it's not necessarily intuitive and natural. It's very different than going into a live setting with a group of 20 or 10 or 100 people. To go to an online setting, there does require some technology acumen, and then there's the soft skills of presence. And there's always the possibility of having a co-host who takes care of all the technology, and I talk a lot about that as well. But even within that, there are skills and ways to shift program design. So we translate the experiences that happen in a real in-person event into online. I mean, like in an online event, you can stand up and move. You can break people into groups of 2 or 3 or 4. You can take breaks. People don't go to the bathroom and talk in the hallway, but they take their little bio break at home, come back, and then put them in a breakout room where they just get to chat with someone new. So, things like that can happen. And it takes more and a different kind of presence. I'm curious because you've been doing this too with interviews, right? You're touching a global audience with the interviews. You always feel very calming. I feel that you transmit an energy through video, and it's uplifting, it's calming, there's a peacefulness about it, there's a playful purity. Imagine that with your name, right? What do you do to prepare before you do it? I mean, I want to hear what you do, because I'm sure that you've got lots to share with us.
In a way, I'm all of that is kind of happening very natural. I didn't participate in any training or learn about it, but basically I deeply connect with my love for people and for the possibility to evolve as humans. And what I also do is that I connect with all the people all over the globe which are interested in that, whether they watch an interview or not, but I connect with all of them in a way. I see a huge net around this globe, and all are kind of part of that. Some will see it, some hear about it, some are just connected via other events, but we are all together in that. And that's basically what I do, and what helped me to overcome this obstacle, because I'm not so skilled in technique, but I thought it would be such a pity to be stopped by that. I mean, I took just a course in how to organize an online summit because I didn't know. So yeah, that's all possible.
Wow, it's perfect. I wanted to speak to 2 things you said. First, that overcoming ourselves. Like if we have a mission and we have a purpose and we're really about helping our clients or helping the world, we've got to get over ourselves. I mean, there's always going to be things to learn and skills and, and it's time to move out of the fear and into the service. It's like public speaking, which I've also done a lot of live events, and I remember the first time I went in front of 500 people in a more professional setting. I was in the green room and I was so nervous and I was shaking, but in a like dancing, getting myself prepped kind of way. And then it just hit me like a resounding voice. You are doing this for the audience. You are doing this for the people out there. This is not about you being approved of. And it was really kind of intense. It was like, oh man, as soon as my energy shifted to the people, like you were just talking about, and the change, it was like, oh, okay, I am an instrument. Use me. Let's go. I lost 90% of the fear. And I brought the other 10 with me. Because we're going to have fear when we do these things.
I'm always nervous before every interview. I didn't learn that. I'm not a journalist. And when I did it the first time, I never did that before. But I say, but I have to do it and I will do it anyways.
I love that. Yeah. So that's tip 1. Just get over ourselves, do it anyway, and do it for the people that we serve, which kind of ties into one of my biggest recommendations for people, whether it's one-on-one or groups. You're not talking to a camera. You're not talking to a screen. You're connecting with a person. So if it's live, like you and I are live, so we're really connecting with each other, I'm simultaneously right now aware that this video will live on. And so the energetic of that living on and people viewing it, I am imagining people being uplifted. I hope you're being uplifted right now. I'm imagining people being inspired. I'm imagining people kind of like taking a deep breath and getting some new ideas. So I'm imagining the life of the video. So when I'm recording, I've got in mind the viewer. And when I'm live in front of 50 people in a Zoom meeting or 8 people, I am with them. I'm not in my computer. I am with them, because here's the cool thing. I mean, we know remote healing works. We know we can pray about someone. We know we can just think about someone on the phone or in our quiet time, and it will help make a difference in their health, in their life. So we know that energy can be transmitted and transformed and shared through time and space. So it's happening. We don't have to be with each other physically to share our gifts, to share not just our gifts, but share our energy. And that's an important thing for everyone who's a healer to know, everyone who's a teacher to know. And this is true, anyone who's just, you know, maybe your family lives across the globe or the, you know, in a different part, geographic region than you. I know people are having virtual birthday parties. I know people who are getting together, you know, they used to meet as a group with 10 people and they're getting on these calls, or families are connecting more on video. So whether you're teaching a group or leading a program or just connecting more on video than you're used to, bring the heart, like give it time. And in fact, I even recommend at the beginning, like drop in together, like, hey, can you feel me? I feel you. And really just take some time to feel each other, because we're not going to hug, so we can energetically feel each other. Okay, cool. Let's connect from that place and take, you know, care throughout to continue to be that. It's a new world.
What helped me, this it doesn't need to be for everyone. Not everybody needs to like what I share, kind of.
Yeah. Yeah, in my Soul Inspired Marketing course, which is another class I teach, I have this whole rant about you be you, and you be you for the people that resonate with you. It's so important to know that. So that's back to that, not going to be approved of. Otherwise, we're all vanilla. And, you know, if you're peach cream, be peach cream. And, you know, if I'm mocha almond fudge, here we go. Because the people who like what they like will feel and resonate. And most likely, it's just a sorting opportunity too. So people spend 15 minutes and, okay, well, that's not for me. People spend 15 minutes and then they binge watch all your interviews.
Yeah. And that was also kind of a learning curve for me, because in the beginning I thought, whoo, I mean, I'm very much interested.
Really to have speakers in a program which are really kind of high class level in a way. Yes. And I thought, oh, they don't know me. I never did that. Will they kind of even reply? And I connected to this purity, as you mentioned, and also just to my wish to really deliver a high quality and have conversation with people which really have a huge experience and know what they are talking about. And from quite a lot, I got this feedback. I was surprised that I said yes to your invitation, because usually I say no. I receive hundreds of them every week, but I tuned in the energy of what you want to deliver, of what you want to give to the people. And I just I need to say yes to that. And that was also kind of really encouraging me to just stay true to my passion, to what I do, and life will attract and take care then that it will really come together.
Yeah. So in my business classes, I talk about this in the sense that when you really know your purpose and you have a vision and you've created your core values, then that's the soul of your business, and that's where you move forward from. So I'm hearing from you, like, you value professionalism. you value quality, and you value individuals who have something unique to share and they're articulate and they're experienced. And so you want to give that to the world. And so you were very discerning. That's very clear. I know you have a big vision of how you can be a part of the global change and evolution right now. So you're clear on your vision and your purpose and who you're for, and you're not for everyone, but you are for the people who want real. You are for that. That's for sure. So am I. Yeah. Yeah. And real is not denial.
Yeah.
Real is exploring. We're pioneers. I mean, we're in the new frontier now.
Absolutely. And also
Kind of what I also saw, what really helps is I'm quite adventurous, and I love learning. I love experiencing new things, and I guess that's helpful when you engage in something which is new.
Yes. But see, isn't it true? That's what everyone's looking for. We're looking for the new voice. I mean, well, let me put it this way. There are those that are just waking up, right? Like you were giving the 4 pillars, and they're looking for the beginning level of like, just what's the difference between being conscious and unconscious? And, you know, they're looking for that. But as we all grow, when we start getting the more advanced or the next information about the planet and consciousness and integration, which I think we're in a big phase of integration. If we're getting that message, that's the message we are to share with the world. And so I see you really being, you know, okay, I'm a pioneer. I'm way out here. And usually the pioneers are called freaks until they're the saviors, right? You know, so heck, fly your freak flag. That's what I tell my clients. Just be that. There's enough people who want that. There's plenty who want that because we've heard the same stuff a lot.
Mm-hmm. And I really love when you share that, because I notice kind of we are also bridging then to another facet of what we could maybe offer for our audience right now, is this outreach kind of. There is so much out there in the internet, and so many programs are offered, and how does it work that people see what I kind of offer to the world? Do you also support people in that aspect?
I do. I mean, that's who I be. I mean, that's what I'm here to do, is help people with their branding, with their key messages, with their website. So once we know your mission, vision, and values and exactly what your company is about, that's the soul, like I said. So that infuses the products, the services, and the customer journey. And it infuses all your visibility and client attraction. So your website, your email copy, all of that needs to be reflective of your mission, vision, and values. So if you're all about quality and pioneers and the next level of consciousness, you know, it's so important to make sure that everything you write, everything you speak, and the look and the feel of that forward-facing space online is resonant, is congruent. And then we're, you know, wow, then we sort out. Like you said, you're not for everyone.
And do you experience joy when you
offer those classes to people? Do they kind of also support each other, not only during the program, but also continuing after that?
For sure. Yeah. I do private VIP days, which sometimes is appropriate for some of the more business owners who like, time is of the essence, let's get there. And that's when I go into my intuitive space, as does the business owner, and we really access it. But in the group setting, for sure. I mean, that's, once again, that's so much what I'm about. Let's create community, collaboration, partnerships. So we have online portals and private Facebook groups where people are starting to work together and connect and encourage each other in the growth.
Mm-hmm.
And in the growth, once again, in love, choosing love, not fear, not what I've done before and I'm going to do it just because I'm good at it and I've done it before, but no, what I vision, what I know I'm being called to next.
Yeah.
So, and that's powerful to have community.
Mm.
That's important. I
Mm.
will say too that people often have a board of directors and an advisory council for their businesses. And I invite people to have their energetic advisory council
Mm.
present to every single decision they make, every meeting, right? So whoever those influences are for each and every one of us in terms of spiritual teachers, bring them in. Bring them in because they're great advisors in making choices.
Mm.
I even look back now, it's like it was a year and a half ago that people started asking me, instead of only teaching about business, teach how to teach online. And so I did, and I developed the curriculum, and I've been teaching it now for a while. And then boom, here we are with this great demand for it. So where did that, right? Like I intuitively checked in. People are asking me, okay, is this my direction? Yep, this is a place I can serve. And then, that was an intuitive response to request. So that's what I encourage us to do. Business is beautiful. It's spiritual. It's really just a creative process. And when we're here to help others, well, of course, it's got to live in some kind of a framework. And that framework is a business that is sustainable, profitable, and we're a steward of it.
And Joy, I just would like to know the audience you kind of
invite for your programs. Is it just because of timing of your program? Sometimes some live programs are really beautiful when you are situated in America, but it's late night when you are in Europe, or it's early morning in Australia. How do you handle that to attract the international community?
Oh, I know. Most of my community is Europe and the US. So I tend to teach in the morning in the US, which is early evening in Europe. But I do have now a few people in Malaysia. And so that means I get to teach in the evening in the US, or the late afternoon, which is the morning there. So I vary things enough that there's like a little bit of a toddle. Because we're global. Yeah.
Yeah. So anything left what you would like to share with people which are now watching us, listening us, to kind of get a sense if they want to take a next step, maybe take a coaching with you to get to know you more personal, or join a master class? What would you like to share?
Oh, follow your hunch. If this lit you up, then that's probably a good sign. If you're feeling better now than you were at the beginning of the video, then, there might be a resonance here. If you're making notes and thinking about your own business right now, I'd love, 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 love to be a part of that and support you. And like I said, the masterclass is a great way to start, or get on my email list. And I actually send out the 7 wisdoms in a 7-day series, as well as a chapter on intuition and how to really grow your intuition. So I'm always offering people, just join the community, whether you say yes to a program or you want some of the things that I do for free. And what else? Really, I just feel like more and more my core message, yes, I would love to connect with people in my courses if it speaks to you. I just want to leave people with this deep breath of take it easy with yourself and let yourself be more you. This critic, this judgment, this not allowing the full expression of self, that's what's blocking us. Mm-hmm. So it's time to be the authentic, total you. And that starts in you dancing, moving, being artistic, screaming, yelling, journaling, showing up for yourself. And then just bring it to the world, because it's time, it's really time. There's a big opportunity to choose fear or love right now. And we start choosing love by loving all of ourselves. Then we have more compassion for everyone's choices on the planet. And then we're more discerning about our choices because we love ourselves. And then we bring more love, more upliftment into our communities. And we're drawn to areas where there's love. And we make the choice to follow that. That's what I want us to do. And knowing that as we raise our vibration through our meditation, through our practices, that it is making a difference, because we will naturally then want to serve. But we will serve in the way that is ours to serve. Because what happens is living a purposeful life is that being in love, cultivating self-love, those opportunities will show up. You don't have to look for your purpose. When you're really in a place of love, it will find you. And when someone asks you to do something, your intuition says yes, you get excited about it. That's your purpose. So that's my message.
Just two things
Came to my mind while I was listening to you is one thing is I once just so realized when I was in a really so beautiful program where I felt I benefit so much, and I thought, if this person would have gone with fear and I don't want to be that visible, I don't want to stay secure, and wouldn't have taken the step to teach and to show others, I would have missed that. So I thought, oh, thank God that this person was took all its courage and went into that, showing up and offering its skills. And the other thing was, we are so creative, and it's just so much fun to have this possibility to experience yourself in a different setting, in a different engagement, in a different adventure when you do something new. For example, creating the first time an online program and you never did this before. How exciting is that, to have this chance to feel yourself, to sense yourself in this role, doing this new. So you grow in a way, you become more, because this is something you haven't done before. And this is how I want to kind of encourage you to find out, who am I when I do something I never did before, and my heart really calls me to try it.
I love that. I love that. Thank you.
Great. Was a wonderful time, Joy, to really have this vital and beautiful natural exchange with you. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for showing up, for supporting people, for taking just this time to sit with me here and give people the opportunity to get to know who you are and what you offer. Thank you so much.
Hopefully get to know who they are. I hope that those of you listening, watching, have a new sense of who you might really be. And yeah, show up and share. Thank you.